Last note, sizzle, pop. 1, up, 2, up, ready, let's go. Good, good. And you remembered the breath mark we talked about yesterday, right? So every time you say that breath mark, you want to make sure you breathe there and only there. Let's go ahead and play it now. Boy, that was quick. You can learn songs real fast when you do the take 5 method. You start it. Ready, say, 1 up. Breathe. Good. Breathe. Hey, that was good. I could tell that was a whole note that time. Now, if you look at the beginning of the song, you'll notice that there's a key signature. Now, you all know the story. True story. There was this class one year at another school where a test was given to them and all the answers were in the directions. And 66% of the students failed that multiple choice test. And every time I tell that story, especially my 8th graders, they just kind of go, man, I can't believe that. When I tell my 7th graders, they're like, I can't believe it. 6th graders are usually like, that's impossible, but it is very possible. It happened. How were they able to miss so many questions? Because they didn't look at the directions. Specifically, they didn't look at the answer key. So every time you play, there's an answer key at the beginning of your song. It's called your key signature. Everybody say key signature. Key signature. It's your key signature. That key signature literally tells you what keys to press. That's what it's telling you. And not only that, it tells you which keys are sharp, which keys are flat, and which keys are natural. So right now, I want you to buddy up with the person next to you. I'm only going to give you about 10 seconds. Can you tell them which notes, if any, are flat, which notes are sharp? Maybe they're all natural. I don't know. Maybe you don't have any flats or sharps, but I'm going to come around and ask you in just a moment. You got 10 seconds. Go. So when I look at this, you guys, y'all don't have any flats or sharps, right? So, but that's important because if you have a particular low note, you might tell them about that B, right? Like if you have a B, because sometimes, you remember how sometimes we used to try to hit B flat? So explain to them why you would do that. Okay, so you guys, y'all are pretty used to this because y'all have always had B flats and E flats, but there's going to come a time when you start having E naturals.
And then we had the A flats.
And the A flats, that's right.
What's a natural?
That's it, that's it. So it's going to come up real quick. I think it starts a few pages from here. But you guys need to remember that's why they don't put the flat signs anymore. They don't put the flats because they told us at the very beginning. All right, and time. First one is? Did it change from the time that we started class? No, it remained the same. That means whatever we said at the beginning is still true throughout class. That's how a key signature works. For example, flutes, you have a B flat and an E flat like tubas and trombones. So they don't have to keep writing the word flat all the time. That would kind of bug me if they had flats on every single note. So what they do is they tell us that everything that's B and E is going to be flat for the whole song. And then you don't have to stress out about it, okay? Same thing for trumpets and clarinets. They tell you that everything is natural, so you don't have any flats, so you know exactly what to press. Let's go ahead and try it. Here we go. One more time, au clair de la lune. Ready? 1. In the light of the moon. Sit tall. Shoulders fall, meet in the back, feet flat. You start it. Ready, say, 1 up. Nice big breath. Good. Breathe. Good. Now, you'll find that on your instrument, sometimes we're limited. Now, I can play a whole bunch of notes. I can play a whole bunch of notes, but I can only play one note at a time. I don't have the ability to play more than one note simultaneously. There's something called harmony, and I'm going to ask Mr. Landry to come up for just a second because I want, as he's coming up, I want to demonstrate for you what harmony is. Now, harmony, as you see in your book, is when you play more than one note at the same time, simultaneously, creating a chord. A chord is another name for harmony. It's another way that we refer to harmony. So, Mr. Landry, would you play? We were working on a little tune earlier this week, and I want him to try a little bit of it. Just a couple of those chords. He's going to use all his fingers to make these combination sounds we call chords. And I'm going to tell you why that's significant to you in just a moment. Let's try it, Mr. Landry. Can you hear how there's more than one sound happening at the same time? So it's like he's using all his fingers to make a whole band. He's like a whole band by himself. And I'm going to stop right there. Now, harmony is important because it makes the melody sound more interesting. Mr. Landry, I want you to play that again for me. Here we go. Ready? And. So I can just play notes on top of that, and now it has more interest. If I just played it by myself, I mean, that's okay, but kind of boring. But when Mr. Landry adds his part, let's try it again. Ready? Go. Now it's kind of interesting. It even has a feeling. Some people would say, oh, it makes you happy or sad, or it gives you an idea. It gives you a picture in your mind as you hear the tune. So what you guys are going to do, I want you to look at London Bridge, because now, thank you, Mr. Landry. Y'all give Mr. Landry a hand. Good. He's been working hard on that song. Good. So now this next one is called London Bridge, and it's a duet. And if you remember from the previous page, we know a duet is when two or more people play at the same time. So right now, I want back row to look at the B part, and I want saxes and French horn to look at the B part, and I want trumpets and front row to look at the A part. You've got about, 10 seconds to get those letter names. Ready, go. I'm timing you.